It's day 337 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. Recording here from work today because I have to say wait for Bar Mitzvah and the Lag BaOmer party. In any event, if you'd like to sponsor upcoming Shir or more of Arukh HaShulchan OC, it would be greatly appreciated. Today we are doing second day, our first full day in Hilchos Shabbos. Reish Mem Beis Sipei to Reish Mem Beis Sif Yud Gimel. Sipei. Because so said God to be careful about your souls and do not carry things on Shabbos. Do not remove a load from your house on Shabbos. Don't do any malacha. Sanctified day of Shabbos. If you listen here, listen to me, etc. And then into the gates of the city will come kings and officers. If you don't listen to me, the Kadesh is Yom HaShabbos to sanctify the day. But he says, Mamasa Gomer, and you won't refrain from carrying loads. I'm going to ignite a fire in its gates. It's going to consume the palaces of Yerushalayim and will not be extinguished. Never Chazal say Masech Shabbos, a place where Chilul Shabbos is prevalent. Sham had Leikum Mitzia, their fires are also prevalent. They rebelled against me, etc. They desecrated my Shabbos. And I said I'm going to spill out my wrath, etc. Because they rejected my statutes, my laws, and did not walk in my statutes. And my Shabbos, they desecrated. So after we see all this, a Jewish person should put in his heart Shabbos Kodesh, how important it is to preserve Shabbos, the holy Shabbos, and to accept it while there's still much time in the day, not immediately before sunset. Because when this is done that way, many of the masses, v'noshim, and women, and ignorant people, they actually light the candles after sunset. By Pesach, after noon. It's only a negative commandment. Nevertheless, stop you from eating 2 hours before that. It's because chametz is everybody possesses chametz, and therefore we have to be concerned that people are not going to be properly meticulous. It's certainly a great kavachomer Shabbos that by desecrating Shabbos Isor Skila, which is a prohibition for which one can incur stoning, and it is universal for all Jews, young and women. When as the distance of lighting candles very much before Shkia. It's certainly that the Rav of the city and those who are God-fearing, they have to also be very early with Shabbos. So that the masses who won't be that early, at least one comes to Chilul Shabbos. But as opposed to they themselves light immediately before Shkia, then the masses will light after Shkia. Almost like we heard and we saw in several places. But they raised earlier generations to Shabbos. They accept Shabbos very early. Like it says in Chumas after they davened and after they ate, they went for a walk. Only then the sun be setting. There's some people who say you shouldn't do early Shabbos and Plaga Mincha because it's cutting corners. Chassidim, I think, especially have this approach. Many of them. It's not true. It's even Chumas Hadeshin that being Makabel Shabbos early for those who are Zoichet, that is a tremendous madrega, and therefore the Makabel Shabbos from Plag is an extraordinary thing if you can do it. He says in the brackets here, Vashlabas Yidur Kohen Kabbalah Shabbos V'or She'omer Mizrah Shel Yom Shabbos Achar Shkia. If you say Mizrah Shel Shabbos only after Shkia, maybe it's a Kana Rabba. It's great danger. And Shom Shibir Zeh Begodah Kushas Chachmasa, who explains this in his great holiness and wisdom. So best to say Mizmor Shir, obviously according to Shlach Kodesh before Shkia. Vav L'Schar Shmir Shabbos Gov L'Moed. The reward for Shmir Shabbos is very great. Like explained the prophets and in the Talmud. They said, Shabbos, anybody who has the pleasures of Shabbos, they give him a portion without any boundaries. They need some Meshibud and he's saved from subjugation. And they give him the desires of his heart. For the Shabbos, the pleasure of Shabbos is a mitzvah from Nevi'im. It says in Yeshaya, Shabbos Oneg made Shabbos a day of pleasure. And everybody agrees. When Pesachim says that on Shabbos you have to have not just Lashem, but Lachem, you have to derive pleasure from Shabbos. See, Bakarasa Shabbos Oneg says call Shabbos a day of pleasure. It's going to come up again. Zayin Hilchos Shabbos Hey Malachos Merubos VaMukos. Hilchos Shabbos are many and complex. Rabbi said Im Goda Richusam are the authors of the Tzur and Shulchan, even though they wrote at great length about all these things, they only wrote what's also what's mutar. Avalo kasvu ikaria avos malachos the same. The chiyuv d'oraisa rabbanan. They didn't consolidate in one spot a list of what the avos malachos are and what the derivative malachos are and what the prohibitions d'oraisa are and what the rabbanan uklai shoshim malachos or Shabbos and the general principles of the roots of the Isser Malacha on Shabbos. Ramazal Piarko explains all of it. And for the perfection of our holy work. But saying that we also want to do a bit about that. And to show distinctions and opinions between as we shall go on to see as Hashem Yisborach. This is Ches. Rambam Reish Perek Al Mishabbos. Shvisa b'shvi mimalacha, desisting on the seventh day from labor. Mitzvah saseh, it's a positive commandment. Hashem says Yom HaShvi Tishbos, desist on the seventh day. Cha'osem bo malacha, anybody who does malacha on the seventh day on Shabbos bita mitzvah saseh, he transgresses the positive command. But Yom HaShvi Tishbos v'avar lo saseh, he also transgresses the negative command, of course. Hashem lo saseh malacha, he can't do any labor. U'ma'u chayav asiyas malacha, what is he liable for if he did malacha? If he did on his with his own volition deliberately, chayav kares, he's liable to kares. The testimony and warning. This scholar gets stoned. If he does it inadvertently, chayav chatas, he still has to bring a chatas. Anytime where you find by Hilchos Shabbos says patur, who patur min Torah, it's the Torah, he didn't transgress anything. Nevertheless, it's prohibited rabban. Shabbos kol p'turei, the Shabbos patur avol also. So to say Chazal says in Shabbos, anytime it says patur on Shabbos, it's patur, but it's also the bar mihani class, except for three cases where it's patur umutar. Unless it's mutar or you're not liable at all, then it's also at least the rabbanon. Patur avol also avar ba'asah, and if somebody does something which is patur but asur, when he does try to violate that, Makim so Makas Mardos based and gives him the penalty of lashes the Rabbanon. Test. Reish Pashas Bayakel. See Bayakel Moshe Begomer. El Advarim Asher Tzivah Hashem Asos Osam. Moshe gathered everybody together. Said this is what you're supposed to do. Sheish Min Tasem Melachah. 6 days to Melachah. B'Yom HaShvi Yelachem Kodesh. 7 days should be holy Begomer. V'Yuro means Shetzivah Osam Melechas Mishkan. Command them to do the Mishkan. Shabbos also says Mishkan, and on Shabbos it's forbidden to make the Mishkan. Kabur b'mechilta. From this Chazal learn Lilmod Kilolim B'Korin Gedolim Lecha Shabbos, to learn principles and major general principles and major principles in terms of the work of the labor for on Shabbos from the Mishkan. The Misamcha Inyan Shabbos Mishkan. Since there's a juxtaposition of Melechas Shabbos to Melechas Shabbos to Melechas Mishkan, the Marika Melechas Shabbos is Melechas Mishkan, and all the Melechas Shabbos and Melechas which were in the Mishkan. Kach Shanu Chachamim. Chachamim say, El Malachas creates the Bahais in Mishkan, you're only liable on Shabbos, Malachas which were in the Mishkan. Veim Zoru, Tem Lotizu, Zoru. They planted to make the Mishkan. You shouldn't plant. There's realized from Mishkan, and the planting was in the Mishkan. There's realized some money to plant the herbs for the dyes. They harvested. You should not harvest. When this we derive Lamites Abbas Malachas B'Shabbos 39 primary categories of Malachas Shabbos Kmoshi as we shall see. Because these Malachas were significant in the Mishkan. Even though the several Abbas Malachas which are similar to each other, Zore, Ubore, Marakid, Shekulam Haim with Bara, Ochim Yavsos, Zore, Bora, and Marakid all are to separate food from refuse. El Shabiru Eno Binyan Echad, it's just that the separating is not in the same way. The Zore Hu Beruach. Zore is when you winnow in the wind. The wind separates. Ubore will be other birds when you separate with your hands. Marakid Hu Manafa, and Marakid is sifting with a sieve. You come up, nevertheless became a Shekulam Hayu by Mishkan, since all the Mishkan, Malachas HaChashubas, significant Malachos. Kamilu Abbas, they're called Abbas. Shari Malachos, Hadomos Abbas, and other Malachos which are similar to Abbas, Kinlo Tolos, we call Tolos literally the offspring. These are the derivative Malachos. You would be into Shah Eitzin of Kabin of the Tolos. If you're going to ask the excellent question of what's the difference between Ab and the Toloda, because that's when both of them chayiv skill, you're liable to stoning with kares or kares if there's no edus and asra, or chatas b'shoigin, chatas inadvertently, achnaf kimina gdol yesh b'zeh. There's a great difference. Dim asa shnei malachos. If you did two malachos, im achas av, if one of them is ab malacha, but achas tolad shalah, and the other one is a derivative of that same malacha, ain't chayav al chatas achas. You're only liable to one chatas. Was there two avos, or should to learn me ab acher, or it's a derivative of another of chayiv shtei chatos. You have two chatos. Chen kusav Rambam perek zayin ayin shom. But that's what I was saying about it. Taisus yesh svara sheshulchin asra. The Taisus also bring up a thought that there's limits in terms of how you warn a person. If you want to make him liable to death, shetzarich lasos tolad the dafka mishum of. Yeah, I have to, even if he's doing a derivative malacha, you have to give him the asra of the ab malacha, which is violated. Chemash m'Shabbos. Number about Taisus b'atzmam these staples. But Taisus we're not sure about. I'm sorry, I skipped one. In case yesh nafkin gedol of a tolos, there's a big difference between the av and the tolada. Chemash m'Shabbos. Number Taisus b'atzmam these staples. Taisus is not sure about this. Yesh markam and mishum atolada gang chayiv. You could say even if you gave a warning because of the tolada, also chayiv. Observe sheet is obvious. If you saw tolada mishum tolada cheres, if they gave a warning on tolada that for another tolada, which is a mistake, even though it's the same of, but it's different tolada of the same of, it's not about warning. And can use about tolada atzma, unless they gave a warning about the actual correct tolada itself. So it's only lasos of shal, the one which he intends to do, or of shalah it's of. So therefore, of course, you have to know what's an of, what's a tolada. What are those malachos? Kach shonu chachamim by Mishnah L'Chal Gadol. Avos malachos are b'im chasar achas. They're 40 minus 1. I'm not going to translate them here because eventually we'll come across them all. Anybody wants to look at the Gemara and Ayin Gimel Malvin Shabbos can find translations. Hazoreh b'chodesh v'kotzav ma'amer v'adosh v'azoreh v'abor v'atochen v'amrakeh v'alosh v'ofa gozis v'tzemer v'lavno v'menapso v'tova v'tova v'meisach v'osa shnei b'asei nirin v'orik shnei chutin v'apotzeh shnei chutin hakusher v'amatir ha'tofer shtei tfilos ha'koreh minas lifor shtei tfilos hatzod tzvi ha'shochlo ha'mavshito ha'mocho v'amabdo v'amocho v'amechatcho ha'kosev shtei osios ha'moichik ha'menas lichtov shtei osios ha'boyer v'asoiser mechaba ha'mavir ha'makeh v'patish ha'motzi v'shus l'shus ha'reil avos mochas v'chulei. Lisa Gemara says the Gemara abed salting and tanning achas haim. They're one. Vein and chaluk l'shnei avos. They're not two avos. But even though they're enumerated twice in the Mishnah, there's another av which takes place in one of them. V'usirtut, which is drawing on the leather where you're going to cut it. We're drawing lines on the leather. The Mishnah started short on the Mishnah. The name is Perish Ma'abdo Kenu. That's really the meaning of what Ma'abed is. Kisam Yerushalmi. Zel Shono. What is the Yerushalmi says? Ma iburam Mishkan. What was the tanning in the Mishkan? Shumasartim ba'oros. They would make lines in the hides, the hashul time, in order to make them equal on all sides. And he says in brackets. You can also explain our shots like that with Shas Shonal Damar Api Kuli Gankin Yeshon Akain Padu. You base. Vineba Asher Hashad Tur Bashulchan Aruch Lois Kam Lachs Prati Yoseim. Since the Tur and Shulchan Aruch did not mention the Malachas in their details, we have Shalom Shon else we seen in Simonei Tur Shulchan. We in the Arukh HaShulchan cannot deviate from their arrangements. So therefore, we decided to put all these malachas in their details. Each malacha to the sim which has some relevance. We're going to explain them obviously in the Tolados in those simanim. Let us mention which simanim they are. Planting and translate. Planting and plowing and harvesting. Siman Shimon Vav. Making sheaves, v'gozes and shearing, u'menapates and making threads, v'tov and weaving, v'amesach and putting the loom together, and making the loops in the loom. Tov actually is not weaving; it's making strings out of multiple strands. I'm blanking on the word right now. In any event. V'oreg is weaving, v'potzea, somebody who separates the threads, v'koseb in the right, some mochik, and erases b'simin shemem, hazora v'avora mamraket, various different types of separating refuse, which you mentioned for, simin sheyutes, halosh v'atoichen, somebody who kneads or grinds, v'mavshis or skins, v'mabdo, works it, umoko, and then makes it smooth, v'chatchon cuts it, musartet, and draws on it, however, by shochet, baking and slaughtering, hadosh, malabein, tzovea. Dosh means to extract and to bleach and to dye. Hakosher matir, tofer, korea, tying and untying, sewing and ripping. But say the hunting, habona basoser, building and destroying, makaplash and completing a malacha, gimel. Mavir, extinguishing and igniting, taken from domain to the main, every of has many derivatives. And they found the whole of malacha lama test holodos. Each of has 39 derivatives. Ein sham. The derivative is a malach which is similar to one of the others. Ketza, how so? Somebody who cuts vegetables to small pieces in order to cook them. He's chayv because it's the derivative of grinding. Because somebody who grinds, he takes a body and breaks down to small pieces. Closer to anybody does something with this. It's a different kind of shon. Prite din zeh is bar b'simin shin chavav. That we're going to explain shin chavav. They say rak b'yarek shein chai and sham. That only specifically applies the rice at least to a vegetable which is not eaten raw. Because of od, the chol malach yishan tolosa derech seh. Ram writes that each malacha has a tolot in this manner. Gufa malacha from the substance of the malacha. Yesh lavin shal ez avi. We can understand to which of it relates. Kamavur lamavin. As will be understood by people who understand. We have the parameters of the main categories, the avos. When we get to any malacha of any malachos, we'll explain what its parameters.